I did a presentation at some psychology group, and there's like 130 people there. And so I said, how many of you would like to learn how to feel good for no reason? All the hands go up. It's super simple, feel good, no reason. I said, have you ever experienced a positive experience? Close your eyes and remember it. Right. And I said, open your eyes, raise your hand if you actually felt good. And that was for no reason, by focus, internal focus. Now, again, I said, of course, I know how the brain works. I said, have you ever had a bad experience? And they go back and remember it. And I said, notice internally how you produce this bad experience. Because again, bad experiences are internal creations based on internal writings or recordings. And by the way, the recordings are malleable and adjustable if you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so I said, all right, close your eyes. Anybody in this room, everybody can even do this now. Have you ever been abandoned alone? So we got 130 people in their mind going back to a memory, feeling abandoned alone. And I said, raise your hand if you felt abandoned alone. We got 130 people with their hands up, feeling abandoned alone together.
Right.
Yeah. Which tells us it's not an actual fact, but an internal creation.
Yeah.
It's a program. Mm-hmm. So today's problems are not failures. They're great creations built from the dynamic force using the filters laid on top of it.
Yeah.
And if you don't like what you're producing, you got to change the references, which are memories, references. Now, if you don't know how to do that, you're screwed. You're going to be chasing rainbows and rabbits and techniques and processes the rest of your life. Yeah. And it's just a waste of time and money.
And in that, because I have heard this several times from different students of yours, where they would have chosen another technique and chasing another modality. Isn't that part of the childhood PTSD?
Childhood training. Now, let me just say the childhood training. Now, here's the problem with my system. This is the truth. It's direct.
Yes.
It's not going to, I'm going to tell you how it is. You do this, you're going to get results. I promise you that.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. When we get close to the scary stuff, I'm going to go try some rebirthing therapy. I'm going to go try some energy ball therapy. I'm going to try floating in saltwater therapy. Something I don't want to deal with my head.
Yes.
And this is what this is. Again, you'll never get results unless you change the cause. Mm-hmm. You may feel better for a while, but it still drives the bus.
And I think there's thousands of people out there that have listened to you that know that your techniques work, watching videos, listening to your teaching, but they're still escaping. They haven't signed up for you.
It's scary. It's scary.
It's scary. So tell us a little bit about level 1, where you can reinvent yourself.
Well, level 1, we call it you can change yourself. Mm-hmm. If you know how your brain works and you know how it processes information and you have processes and techniques that change the cause, which is AKA memories. I mean, that's the cause. Now, so I teach people how to take control. Now, again, you heard me say this before. A lot of the great spiritual teachers and all this stuff, know thyself. What does that mean? It's not your name, your birth name, your birth certificate, your driver's license. It says, know what you do within you.
Yeah.
Of course, you go to, there's a process, to want nothing, to clear your mind and have nothing in your mind. Wanting nothing is wanting something called nothing.
Right. It's still wanting something.
It's still wanting something. Right. Now, again, I had people who've been in ashram for 30 years or 10 years, and they come to my system and again, meditation is nothing wrong with that, but meditation does not change memories. Meditation, I mean, it's great skill mentally, and you can feel good. But the woman I worked on, and you talk about the stuff coming out of her of traumas, and she's been in ashram, she's been very meditative all her life, but it still didn't change the memories.
Wow.
Memories is what drives the bus.
Yeah.
And so again, that's the key. So every bad behavior that you call bad is not really bad to the unconscious brain or the limbic operating system. You have to understand that I call the limbic operating system the intelligent idiot, which means it's really good at what it does. It may not produce something consciously it produces things we don't like, but it just does it because the environment trained them to do what it does.
Yeah.
So if you come from a toxic environment, you're going to have some toxic behaviors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So those thousands of people that have not signed up, yet they think it, they've thought about it, and I know they
Mhm.
have because it's so good. And I did the same thing. I thought about it and I thought about it, and then whoo, gone, right? Like escapism.
I, I don't want to go in there.
I don't want to go there. Right,
I,
exactly.
yeah,
So what do you want to say to those thousands of people that they know you, they trust you already, they've been watching you for years?
just do it.
Yes.
Just do it. How many times I've heard this said? Literally, I heard this said, Robert, I've been watching you ever since 2007. We started putting YouTube videos, and I try to do it, and I work on myself. And then she finally booked a session with me. We booked a session. Now, by the way, guys, when I do a session, it's deep, fast, and thorough. We turn a lot of rocks over, clean up as much as we can. And we did two or three sessions, and her life has totally flipped. The filters were cleaned up, and now her behavior and attitude is completely different than when we started. Because it takes one little concept that'll direct your life into a bad way, one little concept take you in a different way. When you flatten that concept out, that memory, that reference, that trauma, your behavior is different. And so I know it's scary. I know it's scary. I was there. I still experience. Some of the now my attitude about life. It's like when I first started this stuff. Of course, first of all, my training started when I was 15. I searched and tried to figure out how to put the demons out of my head. I had a lot of abuses and stuff and nightmares and all this stuff. So, of course, there's this part of me that when I first started using a psychosensory process, we're going to call it tapping. Now, let me just say this. If I had $1 for everyone said I did tapping, it doesn't work for me, I would be a millionaire today. Tapping is not going to solve your problems. We use tapping to address the real problem. And the real problem is internalization, memories, right? So here it is. I have this scary part of me, really like a really black, scary part inside of me. I have no idea what it was. It was scary. And my mind says, jump in the middle of it, let's clean it up. Now that's my attitude. Let's get it done. Let's get it finished. Let's move on and live life. I don't want to spend all my life in therapy. I want to spend my life having fun, doing things I love, right? Not spending time crying and trying therapy after therapy. Granted, you can have some friends and you can cry together, but the real deal is how happy are you inside you? How much power do you have within you? So that was the scariest part. I was tapping, I was crying. I don't even know what it was. I had no idea. The mind is very metaphoric. I cleaned it up, and then it was like a gigantic lift lifted off of me. It's like it's a huge load. And I don't know what it was. And to me, my brain said it's kind of like what dad did to you, the abuses, and also the rabid dog that was in my grandma's well house. I don't know what it means. Animals represent behaviors, habits. So maybe my bad behaviors and habits. So again, that was a huge shift, a big shift in my mind. Now I had many after that, and I still have them today because I've been working on myself with the tapping process, for example, for 26 years. I still have stuff. I still have opportunities that knock on my door and experiences that I hadn't worked on and cleaned up yet.
Right.
But here's the good thing. I can. Before I
Mhm.
couldn't.
Exactly. So, and you see it as an opportunity. Your perspective of it looks very different.
Yeah, the old thinking is, oh no, I'll never get out of that, but it's not true. It's just programming.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a healthy perspective.